Raise our sights a little bit more, okay? Let's push the boat out in time terms, the horizon a bit further, and look at these figures that have been compiled by Hu Hongong, who's at Tsinghua University, very good economist, very good economic statistician as well. And these figures are not so different from others that have been put together. But can I draw your attention here to China in 1820 accounted for 1/3 of global GDP. And then it had a horrific decline, what the Chinese call the century of humiliation. You see, and it hits bottom around the time of the 1949 revolution, 4.6% of global GDP, catastrophic decline. In fact, for over a century, Chinese GDP more or less froze, like India's actually, and then began to grow with independence, or in China's case, with its revolution. In India's case, with its independence. And then it starts going. Now, Hu Hongong's done these estimates for 2020 and 2030. These figures, by the way, are GDP according to PPP, primary product. So purchasing power, primary purchasing power. Sorry, and look at 2030. And Hu Hongong's estimate is that by 2030, China will account for 33% of global GDP. Back, the future is back to the past, if you like, 33.4%. But what's equally fascinating here is America, 15.1%. In fact, its maximum achievement was 27.3. Well, actually, it was higher than that in the Second World War because so many European countries were relatively knocked out. But 15.1%, Europe 13.1%. You'll note this. China's economy in 2030, which is only 18 years or whatever it is down the road, 17 years down the road, will be twice the size of the American economy and over twice the size of the European economy. So, to proceed, I'll come back to that in a moment. This is what the global economy could look like in 2030. Japan just 3%, Russia 3%, Brazil 5%, countries like Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam and so on 6%, EU 13%, America 15%, India, which I haven't talked about, 19%, and China 34%. And if I paint the picture like this for you, the top one is GDP at current exchange rates, the bottom one is GDP at PPP, and the red ball is China, and the grey silver ball is the United States. And you'll see this extraordinary historical transformation. I mean, we're talking about only 30 years between the red ball being very, very small, almost not like the moon around the Earth, to becoming not yet the sun, but I mean much bigger than the American economy. And